tell or not, but headset on. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Anyway, I'm on my way down to Arkansas, or not Arkansas, Mississippi. Going down to Jackson, Mississippi. I figured I'd take y'all along with me and we can chat about something, because I have, since I posted out some Starfield videos and things like that, I've got a lot more subscribers XP farm and stuff like that. I'm glad, appreciate it. It's helping you guys out with what you need. Your levels up and everything else. I tried to find the best way for you guys to get the most XP on that. And if I set myself out to do something, I'm going to do the absolute best. As for the convention, the other part of that is there's some things that we got to talk about on the division side. So let's just have a little chat about this right here. Again, if you're watching, please let me know if you can hear me clearly or not. I appreciate that. So that way I know if my headset's working or not. This old headset. I need to get a new one. Anyway, for the division, anybody who plays it and all that, there has been a lot of controversy about the EV. Now, I'm not going to this year try to, I guess in a way you would say is just dog these guys out for giving you bad information. I'm just going to show everything that they say is supposed to be accurate, and I'm going to prove it wrong just by showing the actual information on my side. I'm not going to talk about them, I'm not going to point them out, I'm not going to give them any kind of credit and saying that their name or anything like that. I'm just going to show you guys exactly what they say versus what is true. The reason I say this is there's actually a lot of exotics in that game that are going to get buff. Number one, the one that's going to get the most buff, of course, is going to be like the Nemesis, for those guys who like to snipe. Does it need the extra damage targets that are covered? No, it doesn't. Because that crit chance can actually work for certain builds, but that's going to boost most damage up, give or take, on a full red build. It could boost it up almost 300k per bullet, and that's just on a base flat. So if I started adding in that headshot damage and multiplying, doing the multiplicative of that, and so on and so on and so on, those numbers just go even higher. So roughly being said, those types of exotics like that have the crit chance or critical damage, things like that in those spots, those are going to get a significant boost. One that will make a lot of good change is, and again, it's not going to be like a meta. I hate to say this, if anybody's sitting here saying that the new weapons like this right here are going to be a meta, they're not at the end of the day. Will they be more useful than what they are right now? Definitely. They will definitely be way more useful than what they are right now at this very moment. For instance, the Bullet King. Anybody who has a Bullet King currently, right now, likes using it, you have critical damage on there, right? That's what you have on said weapon. The new update would allow you to take and put damage to armor, damage to health on there, whatever you would prefer. So that's going to give you, still, depending on what you shoot, more damage. The Lady of Death, for instance, it has damage to armor currently right now. Lady of Death having damaged armor does not give it more damage. Damage to targets out of cover is going to give it more damage, because you have to go up and melee something to get said type of damage out. You know, you got to get up close and personal. Well, in my next video, I'm still working on, because I'm going to show you all this stuff. I'm not going to go half-ass. I'm not going to go for the minute. I'm going to go for everything in total. I'm going to show you guys in my next video that melee damage is increased dramatically more by damage to targets out of cover. So if I take, say, and if y'all have ever seen him, his name is Robbie Vaughn. He loves to use melee builds in PvP. I have made a suggestion to him about trading out his E-pads, which are the Murakami ones, to putting on the Overlord, so he can hit way more melee damage and kill players easier. And I showed him this little clip that I made a while back, and he now has a build like that. If he has one of those pieces on me, it's not his go-to, it's not his number one piece, but I did prove that gave him more damage than anything else. So, Lady of Death would benefit from damage to targets out of cover, because one, you have to keep moving, you have to move around, but get up close and personal to that NPC to melee them to get the other part to hit. So they come out of cover, which gives you the damage to targets out of cover, which gives you the damage. So there's another one out there. It was the capacitor. Now, I have had arguments with people on Discord, Reddit, and other places, X, or what we used to call Twitter, on pages right there, that the capacitor is not going to have more damage by having damage to targets out of cover versus the health damage on the bottom. Arguably, yes, it will, because one thing, health damage is only for dogs and chongas, and if you get to a player's health. Having 10% damage to targets out of cover versus 9.5% damage to health, which is very specific on very specific spots. The damage to targets out of cover works for all of those combined, which gives you more damage than the damage to health, which would be very specific type damage. And because it's very specific type damage, being damage to health, damage to targets out of cover is going to give you the more at the end of the day. Especially on that weapon. And because now developers are going to be giving us the Ninja Bike backpack, being able to trade that off, you can then take and put on a Ninja Bike backpack, put on a Carl's holster, put on the Technician, have 3 yellow cores getting 21.5% weapon damage more on a build using the capacitor and getting the damage to targets out of cover, which would be more damage than what you're currently getting, especially to their armor and to the player's health at the same time, making that right there probably not a meta, but a more useful than what it currently is type weapon. There's also, what was the other one? The Chatterbox. The Chatterbox, which has a really high rate of fire if you have 5 people nearby, you then get that to have damage to targets out of cover. That could honestly become even more RPM than the Ouroboros. All I have to do now is shoot one bullet, run out in the middle of the group of guys, reload, get that quick reload. I now have 5 guys at PvP that were nearby, giving me the most RPM in the game with damage targets out of cover. That gun right there, because it's got even more base damage and has more RPM, has now beat the Ouroboros just by doing that. And that's the one thing that most people who play PvE with PvP are not realizing. They all love the Orboros, right? Because you just come out and spray and boom. Now I'm going to have more damage per bullet. All I got to do is do one quick reload. I have more RPM than the Orboros. And at the same time, I've now got damage targets that are coming there. That weapon right there, if we think RPM is the strongest thing in there, and base damage, that gun just became number one for PvP. So, yeah, a lot of people have. And I have been seeing through the comments, through Reddit, I heard what you said through here. Not all, I didn't catch it all, but I heard most of what you said through here. I love this headset, but it's an old ass fucking headset, so hopefully y'all can hear me. The one thing that I have a problem with is a lot of people are saying this entire thing, and this is the reason behind my next video. And these guys, they don't understand these mechanics. That all this update has been for PvP, and they're getting nothing for PvE. There have been guys like him who commented. There are guys like me. There are guys who watch my stuff, even though they may not like me. They do agree with this, that PvP has been taking a back burner, taking a back seat to everything that we have ever gotten. And finally, for the first time that we actually get something, y'all complain. We've been complaining for how many years? We've been begging for an update. We have been begging for this stuff. And we get this much while y'all have gotten this much. And for the first time, we're getting this much and y'all are getting this much. And you see how it feels. And if you don't believe me, you can go out there and take a look at some of these other guys' videos. And you'll see it's nothing but complaints. It's nothing but speculations on all of this stuff, because they don't understand why this is working this way, why we're getting this, why we're getting that. Because it's for PvP. This is Project Resolve. It's resolving issues that PvP has been suffering, and they're giving us this stuff. That's what it is for. They even said that it's for PvP. So the guys who don't understand this, the guys who are making videos and complaints, rants, raves, all this kind of stuff, are those guys who are just PvP guys and have no clue about the game. That's why when I make a video, or a build video or anything, I try my hardest to look at both sides of the picture. I try my hardest to see both aspects of PvP and PvE and give you something that works for both at the same time. So you don't have to go messing around with all this other shit. Should have been 3 years ago. Yeah, it should have. I agree with that 100%. It should have been a long, we are overdue for, like, this year could have been, like, when it first came out, first year, PvE. Okay, next year, let's do PvP. Okay, now we got those two out of the way. Okay, this is messed up in PvE. All right, we'll work on PvP this year. Okay, next year, PvP. PvE, PvP, PvE, PvP. If they had done it like that, everything would have been smooth. But we didn't. That's not how it worked. But for the first time, we get something and all the PvE guys complain. This is what we have to do. The guys who don't understand the mechanics. Now, I put out a video of the EB. Small little short. It was only a little short. But that right there should have proven to whoever watches this, whoever sees this, that your content creator that you view, that you watch, does not understand anything about PvP and why they say that the EB will not benefit from damage to targets out of cover. If you didn't see it, go take a look at my short. You will see one major thing in that short right there. And you can stack headshot damage off of the decoy. You can stack that headshot bonus off of a decoy. What does that do for a PvP player? That makes it where we don't need that headshot damage on the ED. Don't need it. Or the Eagle Bear. If you don't know what an ED is, it's Eagle Bear. We don't need that headshot damage. If I drop a player on the ground and he does not kill himself off, and he's laying there, I can then shoot him in the head, get the kill, and get those procs by having those procs preset off of his decoy, making it where I can use more bullets on him in the chest and the head and spread out the damage. In case I miss some headshots, I can shoot chest shots by having damage to targets out of cover on there and using the headshots on his decoy to stack my procs. And all about, there you go. So those guys who sit there saying that the EV requires you to land headshots to get the better damage and to get the headshot kill, they're not wrong that you have to get a headshot kill. But if a player's on the floor and I shoot him in the head and kill him, I get it either way. I just stack up my damage or my survivability faster by shooting his decoy. Why do I need to land headshots at that point? I don't. And another thing is, so many people don't even understand how to use a decoy properly. Like, I have talked to a few other guys. If y'all don't know Hookham, he's a big follower of mine. He sends a lot of people my way. Thank you, Hookham, if you see this. But at the same time, he said the same thing. These guys do not understand how to use a decoy. PvE players do not understand how to use said decoy. If you drop a decoy, it's not for you just to go and hide and get away. What you do is, this is you right here. You put your decoy right here, and the other player is right here. This player is trying to shoot through your decoy, and while he's trying to shoot through your decoy, you're doing this. You're going left, right, left, right, left, right. His gun will set lock onto the decoy versus you. And because it's locked onto his or your decoy instead of you, you can then shoot said player through your decoy. And because his gun is fixated and locked, because there's an auto lock set deal on decoys, you can then avoid damages. And so many players do not know this because all they do is they drop a decoy and then run away to try to hide. When you can use your decoy to avoid damages in PvP. And so many guys who step into PvZ don't understand this mechanic. So after going through and realizing this stuff, there's a few mechanics that I have trade secrets on that some don't know or have not told their community because they don't know this stuff. They don't know how to use it properly. Now, am I saying you have to use it that way? No. You can still drop a decoy, run away, and hide. But to use it properly, how the game would benefit you the most, has never truly been shown. Just the same as with my my one video that's getting me a bunch of subscribers and a bunch of likes, is my Starfield one. Again, I try to take what I have learned, what I know, and give you guys the best information to maximize your potential in any game possible, whether it be PvE or PvP. And again, with that one right there, the fastest XP, in one day I literally got 40 levels, and I'm probably going to just do that. I'm going to do like 40 levels on this next game plus, 40 levels in the next game plus, and so on and so forth. And I did that in the span of probably like 3 hours. I'm doing the same thing with this right here. I'm going to show you guys PvP mechanics that you probably have never seen, that you never know, so you can get more knowledge. I'm not going to say it's going to make you a better PvP player, but it might give you something that you didn't know to give you that little bit of an edge. Heartland video, yeah, I saw some of that. Hookham sent me some photos of what he's done, some video and stuff like that. I haven't really dove into it. And again, it's, from what I understand, Heartland is supposed to be more PvP than PvE. So there's a lot of, and again, there's a lot of people who are already complaining about it because it's not what they were wanting. Because again, it's more around PvP. They said it was going to be more focused on them. And if you haven't noticed, the guys, the more people who are complaining, not saying all of them, not saying any of y'all who are watching, but most of them that are complaining are those guys who don't PvP. But at the same time, most of the guys who do PvP are also saying that some of these mechanics in the game are also not up to even the current standards of Div 2. So, I don't know. I'm going to stay off of that one because I haven't even played the game. I'm not going to do no beta, no nothing like that because I kind of dislike how all this stuff is going on with Division 2. So, I'm just going to wait for the game to come out and then play it out. Yeah, that's I heard the same thing. It was buggy and clunky. But again, I'm not knocking the game right now because, again, how many games have we as a community, as we as players, we as Xbox, PlayStation, PC, all of us have ever played Call of Duty in the very first days that a game or a beta ever comes out? Has it ever been perfect? Come on, be honest with me. Every game you ever play when it first comes out, beta or not, is always the first one, always going to have issues, right? So we can't expect a perfect game until they come out. Now, if we go back years and years ago, Halo, the first Call of Duty, all that, they went through and they tested shit and they made sure it was perfect before they ever released it, right? Because it was going to be on a disc. They couldn't avoid fucking up a disc. Now that it's all digital, it's like, oh, we can fix this later on. We can fix this later on. Right? Up right now, it's not feeling like it's supposed to. Doesn't mean it won't be ready when the game comes out. I'm just saying. You know, let's be honest, let's be real. Although, what was that one? It was something about Day After or something like that. Some video game someone told me. I think his name was Strafers. My Discord, he said something about a game called The Day After. It's like he said Battlefield and Division had a baby, something like that. It's kind of how it feels. Or Fallout, Division had a baby. That's another one I was looking into. I've seen some good stuff about that one as well. Again, will it be perfect when it first comes out? Probably not. But it looks pretty good. Now there is one I can't wait. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to be working on trying to get a gaming PC because I saw that the Starship Troopers game, that a bunch of just, you know, me player have actually taken the time to build. They all got together, built their own game, and it is now on Steam. But it's Starship Troopers. I so want to just make a gaming PC to go play that game. I'm a huge Starship Troopers fan. Warhammer 40,000. I can't wait for Space Marine. The new one to come out. I believe it's going to be Space Marine 3 or 2. I think it's 2. I can't wait for Space Marine to come out. And then they got Starship Troopers on, but it's only on PC for Steam. But yeah, I so want to just get over there and play that. Yeah, and so it's I would agree to that. It's more like an old school Call of Duty meets that new what do you call it, like rush mode that they had in that World at War version, where you slowly can push your enemy forward or backward or whatever, kind of like on Battlefield. But it's got the ability to build stuff up, kind of like Fortnite and everything else. You powers, guns, ammo racks and everything else. Like, they took all the stuff players like about certain types of games, mashed them into one, and said, "Fuck it, we're going to go for all out." And as you progress forward, as you move forward, the bugs get bigger, stronger, bring out stronger one. Oh man, like you see the Scorpions, the fucking tanks, you see them all, flying ones. Oh, it looks beautiful. I just want to build a gaming PC just to go play that. Then they've also got what was the other one? Yeah, I was talking about Space Marine 2. That one's supposed to be coming out sometime this year, 2024. Now, I can't wait for that one because the old, if you don't know, the very first one, the first Space Marine that was on Xbox and all that kind of stuff, that one had PvP. And I was pretty good at that. Like, give me the fucking blast cannon, heavy bolter, all that kind of stuff. Oh, I was good. Give me the jump pack and the chainsaw. Well, I'd get right up in your face, cut you in half and everything. And they had a PvP to that as well, where if you pushed them far enough back, they were forced inside their spawn, and you just do like it was basically domination. You had 3 spots, they couldn't never trade spawns, but that was pretty good. I like that one. What gear set is going to get a rework? I don't think there's a gear set going to get a rework. What gear set is getting a rework? I don't know what gear set is getting a rework. Hardwire? Oh, I don't think so. If it is, I don't know what. There's not much to really rework on that gear set. It's not really giving a whole lot of damage or anything. So, and I know it's right now hardwire is literally only used for drones on. It's basically a drone healer on. What was it? The very first raid, the airport one, Division 2. Other than that, no one really uses hardwire anymore. The only thing that hardwire was useful for was traps. When traps was a thing, and I made that trap build, which plagued the fucking dark zone. Sorry about that, not sorry. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Okay, so tamper-proof was the first originally on the BTSU gloves. It wasn't on the gear set. It wasn't on it. It was on the gloves. It was on the BTSU gloves. They took that off of there because everybody was using that with the hardwire set. It was really strong. It was really powerful. It worked fairly good. The only thing it worked for in the DZ was for the hive. So now I know what you're talking about. I was thinking it was a complete rework. You're talking about adding that. Okay, I have seen talks about that. I don't know if that's true or not. Someone mentioned it to me in my Discord. I haven't really seen too much of it. I don't really know if they're going to or not. If they are, great, but to limit it to one set, to limit it to just that gear set, I don't know if that should be done, honestly. But I don't have a call on that. That's the developer. I'm not a developer. I'm just a gamer, the guy who brings you guys information, tries to set you up the best stuff possible. I don't know if it is, that could change up a few things. But originally, again, yes, it was on the BTSU gloves, and then they put it on the chest piece, and I've seen talk about that they're going to put it on the hardware thing. Now that I know what you're talking about. Okay. God, did you just pass me already? Stop sitting in my fucking corner. Thank you. Go. Shoot. Oh, that's what it was. So I'm going to ask this question on my community later on. I'll put out a little questionnaire to see if anybody knows, because I have, okay, so for the past few days while I made my claim on my stuff right there about the EV, I personally went and looked through everybody's shit. I'm talking he who shall not be named, the other he who shall not be named, the yellow turban dipshit, the guy who can't figure out himself, all those guys. I went through all of their stuff to find one piece of information that I was trying to find, and that is, does health affect poison? Does health damage to health, affect poison? The reason I bring that up is because some people are sitting there saying that, well, like guns like the Scorpio, they're not going to benefit from damage to targets out of cover. There's nothing because it doesn't affect the skills, the status effects and all that. While they're right, it's already got damage to armor on there. They're wrong because it's going to give the gun more damage. But I question, the number one question that everybody didn't ask is, does health damage affect the poison? Because your very first shot in PvE affects everything with poison. And nobody has even bothered to find this out. No one has mentioned it. No one has posted it. There's nothing out there to worry about it because no one gives two fucks. I'm that guy who wants to know that tiniest little fuck. Does it matter? I want to know if it does, then yeah, it may not be anything in PvP because it doesn't affect anything. But if that does affect PvE, more players are going to want that on said weapon. They're going to want that one piece on their weapon for PvE. Versus PvP, you would want, if you use said weapon, you're going to want the damage targets that are covered. But no one has asked that question. No one has shown that answer. No one knows, apparently. So I got the answer. I went and did some testing. And now that I know the answer, I'm going to ask the community to find out, because I'm going to also find out if some people actually bother to test this shit out. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to go run into their content creator to ask the answer, and he's not going to know, and he's going to be doing something. He's going to be testing that out today to make a video instantaneously. Versus me, I'm collecting all the information, putting it all on a video, so everybody will know before this update ever does come out. What was that? One of these. Oh, Mr. DOD, the guy who apparently doesn't lie, but he does lie, kind of thing. He gets on to other content creators about them lying and stuff like that, but yet he lies. Yeah. I was done with that fool when I realized that that dude is a snake in the fucking grass. He is Mr. Who Shall Not Be Named. I do have to say this. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. It was a while back. I just gotta say this. He made a video on a PvP build that he supposedly made per the numbers and everything else. Now, I have to laugh at this because if I took that build and I gave it to other PvP players, I can guarantee you every single one of those guys would probably be laughing their ass off going, that's a solo person build, but not when you come across like a group of 4 that's knowledgeable. So that's not a PvP build. That's just a, hey, let's have fun build. It's not a PvP build. Just because one man can use it fairly good does not mean that is a PvP build. A PvP build is something that 1, 2, 3, 4 guys all can use all at once and just own an entire server. Like, for instance, a lot of people may not agree with it, but my pistol build, basically, for those people who don't have, you know, mouse, keyboard, chronos, all that kind of stuff, for better aim assist, it would give them that, and all they got to do is trade off the PNH and put on a piece of Fenris, they get reload speed and AR damage. Or put on a piece of Badger Tough and get shotgun damage, all that kind of stuff. It's a universal build, and it works for PvP. Message. Show. Oh, You said a no word. YouTube has been doing that here recently. So it hit your last two messages. You said a no word. And there's nothing I can do to stop that, dude. I can't. I don't know how. I can't stop that stuff from happening either. I hate the fact that it does it. Like, I put all my stuff, you know, your discretion device for a fucking reason, YouTube. Like, they can't type fuck, but I can say fuck. Like, what? Type your deal, but make it more PC so I can read because it just pops up. This comment has been blocked. There you go. Dude, I'm going 75 and a 70. You're going, what, 77? Maybe 76? Go. I was talking about the British guy. Yeah. Yeah, the British guy who ashes everybody's balls out. Yeah, I know. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Again, I know I have been made look controversial about this kind of stuff. I'm not hashing their bill when I do mine. You guys can run whatever the hell you want. All I'm saying is this: if you're going to suggest that this here is the strongest possible build, and I can squeeze out that little bit more damage, it's not the strongest. But I'm not going to sit here and say you can't run it and that you can't make a really good time for you in the game. By all means, run whenever you want. If that's how you want to run it, by all means, please enjoy it. It's your game. Run it how you want. But don't sit here and tell the community that this is the strongest possible damage when it's not. And don't tell people, well, like the other guy. You know who I'm about to talk about. He's the one who's like, well, if you use determined, you're not a real sniper. No one's a real sniper in the fucking video game. It's a video game. If they choose to use determined, let them use determined. Jesus fucking Christ. In all honesty, before we ever had determined, fucking naked was the #1 talent out there for the damage because you always got a million more than determined. Now it's just easier to keep those headshots and everything else propped. Like, for fuck's sake. But I'm not going to sit here and tell people you can't run it with this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you can't put this on there. Your game. I'm just going to give you the setup and the build. It's going to literally give you the most damage, the most survivability, the better time in your game that works in PvP, PvE, and if it doesn't work for both of those at the same time, I'm going to let you know ahead of time. Use this here. Don't take this over here. Okay, use this over here, but don't take it over there. Because I don't want you to go into here and feel like you were told to use this, and then you end up getting your ass handed to you. And that's the #1 problem. And I'm going to be honest right now, guys. The reason I bring this part up is this is the #1 problem that is about to fuck everybody over in the Division community. these content creators are going to bring him meta, never die, invincible, most reach in, blah, blah, blah. And when they take those builds into the PvP side, they're going to get their ass handed to them, and then they're never going to walk back in. And what's that going to do for the people who actually do PvP? You're going to take that new blood that we were expecting to get, the new fresh content that those guys were going to get, you're going to make them not want to come back into there. And when they don't come back into there, you screw us out of fun and more gameplay and more, having a better time in what we enjoy because you told them lies. That is the biggest hurt to those people because some of these guys, if you don't realize it, guys like Bishop O is one of probably the biggest PvP content creators for the Division 2, who mainly just does PvP. And even guys like the Vikes, those guys right there are waiting for this fresh new content, this fresh new blood of players that are going to be wanting to come into there. And these PvE content creators who suggest run this build are going to fuck over those people by them taking it in there, getting their ass handed, and then walking out and never coming back. And that's going to hurt what is the last remaining straw for the PvP community. Mark my words, it's going to. They'll still play, but they're not going to be as on or as much as possible because they're done. The game is on a dying breath, and we're trying to bring it back alive, and they're going to get screwed. So, and that's the sad facts. That's the saddest facts of all. Like those two guys, I'll put it this way. Those two guys that were in my short that I posted about 2 days ago on the Eagle Bearer thing, let me just put it this way. One of those guys was ranked barely 300 in SHD. The other one was 1,000 in SHD. Their builds were not set. They weren't ready. I could have killed them easily. I didn't, because I don't want to ruin their gameplay right there and then. Because I know that what they're trying to do is get ready for that update. They're trying to get the gear, trying to get their stuff ready for that update. If I ruin their experience, they're never going to walk back in there. I'm trying to be, again, it's just me. I try to be that nice rogue guy. Like, I'll go rogue on you, but if I see you're in here really just farming, I'm going to let you be. I'm going to let you do you. I'm going to help you out. Get what you need. So you can get out, so you can be ready for the update that maybe later on, you and I, we see each other again, we gonna fight. I don't know what all y'all are speeding for. It's a fucking construction zone. Hazard Central. Everybody right up each other's asses right now. In a fucking construction zone. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. That entire left lane is everybody tailgating right now. Shit I gotta deal with every fucking day. Every goddamn day. one major flaw about that game right now that we all are not going to be facing. It's sad. It really is sad that this is what it's come down to. Well, again, I'm enjoying myself on Starfield, taking a break from it. But I still come back, play, keep myself updated. Check out my build to make sure that it's gear. Oh, what was that? What did he say? Oh, do you want? Yeah, and that was one thing. So, I don't know how many of y'all know about this, but it's not widely talked about. Flip this back around. This is not something that was widely talked about. So, again, I may have the numbers backwards, okay? So don't quote me on this. Please do not quote me on this. But, supposedly, on pistols, I believe, or something like that, they're not bringing back, I guess we would say it's holstering talents. But if y'all remember the stop, drop, and roll piece, somehow or another, they're bringing that back. I don't know if it's just going to be automatic or if it's going to be back on pistols. I don't know. But I do know it is back. So the stop, drop, and roll, and like I said, don't quote me on this. I may have the numbers backwards, okay, please. It's supposed to be, I believe, like 30% on your first roll when you stop and roll in your status. You have to be on a status. And supposedly it only works on fire. Only on fire. I don't think it works on, it may work on bleed or something like that, because you can't get riot mode. They're not going to allow you to do riot mode. You won't be able to do anything with shock. So that's, even though they're supposedly reworking shock, especially the St. Elmo's, where in PvP it's going to do something else. And the reason I bring that up is because a lot of people are complaining about not having enough hazard protection. So now you can literally have a build that has 80%, like mine, that gives you that perfect 80%, and that's all you need. To where now you can stop, drop, and roll, and the first bit I believe is supposed to be like 30%, and then 10%, or it's backwards. It's 10% and then it's 30%. So you're going to have somewhere either 10% or 30% hazard protection, automatic, on your build, on some piece of gear or something like that. So that gives players more hazard protection. They also talked about dropping the status effects down and trying to figure out what was causing when you kill someone who puts you on fire and they're dead, that the damage tremendously goes up. And because the damage tremendously goes up, it would guarantee them a kill if you didn't have any hazard protection. So now they're supposedly they're trying to fix that part. So implementing these two fixes, these two small fixes, and allowing you to get more Hasbro, especially like on the 511 and stuff, even though no one's ever really going to use a 511. If you really use a 511, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with your build, especially for PvP. But allowing the players to still get said extra hazard protection gives them more survivability. So at the end of the day, this is a good bonus. This is a good piece for what supposedly has been plaguing the dark zone. So, again, not knocking it, but again, there are some people out here who I've seen their videos. I don't understand why we're getting all this extra stronger stuff on these attributes. Like, no one's going to be using it. Yeah, no one's really going to be using 511. But if I wanted to use 511, I now have more Hasbro. So it gives me a reason to put that on my build. You know what I mean? It gives me a reason to put that on there. So, does that make like the 511, the death grips, where it gives me more survivability for the 10% armor on steel and the hazard protection with the ninja bite? Does that make it better? Yeah, it really does. It gives me more survivability. So, just because they don't understand the dynamics of what that has brought, doesn't mean it's not going to work. And then someone messaged me and asked about that. I can't remember who it was that fucking said it. Maybe it's one of those who shall not be named guys. Was talking about Murakami. Why are we getting all this extra stuff on Murakami? Bro, it's the third attribute. Not all. There's like 2 or 3, maybe a 4th, that on the third attribute, they're not getting shit. Like, they giving it on the second attribute, or they're giving it to 2 and 3. But there's a few on there, on those photos that they sent, they're not getting shit on the third attribute. So if you're complaining about that, it's because you just couldn't see the simplistic part of the fucking game. They're just giving everything's third attribute more damage, more survivability, something of that nature. If it's got skill damage on the second one, they're giving more skill damage on the second one. If the third one didn't get that, they're not giving you shit. So the developers gave you a third attribute that gives you more survivability and more damage. That's all it is. And those are the same content creators, sad to say, those are the same guys who are going to suggest this here's a better build, and someone goes takes that shit out of PvP, and then they get their ass handed to them, and then they're never going to come back into PvP, and then we as content creators in PvP lose out on fresh new blood. Great. Thanks. That's what we really need right now. I got some stuff in the future. It may be a little while because I'm working my ass off out here before I actually get the video up, because again, I've got to put this stuff through rigorous testing, shit that some of these guys don't do, because they don't step their ass into the dark zone. They don't step their ass into the conflict. Some of these guys who do that don't step their ass into incursion that much. They don't step their ass into raids. They don't step their ass out there into legendaries that often. You know, it's a vice versa. I'm that guy who I will step into all realms to get a full aspect of the game before I do anything. I'm going to test it in every single fucking spot possible. So, once I get through fully testing this stuff out, once I figure everything out, I have proof, I have evidence to bring you guys. I will be bringing out this video that's going to prove how many of these content creators are so one-sided. o'clock at night. I'm up before the rooster crows. I'm in bed before the rooster goes to sleep. Or after the rooster goes to sleep. Got it backwards. Got it. Everybody's like, oh man, 9 to 5. I got a 2 to 9. This one here I'm on right now, it's about $7,000. I think it's like 7.3, give or take. Do it today. Hey, look, there's the meters. It's a bubblegum machine. Illinois County down. Oh, you got 2. Oh shit. Hello. Oh no, that's an undercover cop. You got 2 cops on your ass. That's a landing. Not just division, because I'm going to start covering some other games as well. That's my goal this year, is to branch up off of one game and start working on other ones. Anybody who watches for Starfield, I'm at a 328 on your level, which would be max. You can keep going, you know, you can go to 1,000, you can go to 10,000, just like the division. Once you reach 328, that's all you get for your skills. Like that, you're maxed out on your skills. So your skills will all be completely maxed, or you'll have enough points to max out your character. Basically, you'll have the strongest of everything. Everything will be the cheapest, you know, so on and so forth. So apparently, I'm at 205 as of this morning, out of 328, and I have found everything. I mean, I have figured out all the missions, where all the best, you know, companions are, all that kind of stuff. I've learned some things through some of the Discords I'm on, and all that. And I believe I have got probably, I'm not going to say I have, I believe I have probably the best build on a ship now, that even on very hard, I killed a fucking Class M ship. The Class M, I believe it was Baru ship, and this motherfucker, I was getting my ass handed to me, and I literally made the smallest ship possible. The literally smallest ship possible. And I took on a ship that was like probably 12 times my size. 10 times my size, or whatever. 10 times my size, with the smallest ship possible in the fucking game. And I destroyed it. And I literally sat back, I was like, okay, did I really just pull this? Like, this thing was kicking my ass at one point. And I scurried away, came back, hit him, scurried away, came back and hit him, and then I got right behind his ass and took out his engines, everything. I just put the fuck out of his shit. I was that little pissed off bumblebee coming at it. Oh, it was good. And I got it recorded too. Finally. Like I did it before with my one ship, but this time I did it with the smallest ship. Oh, I got some things figured out now. I'm kicking ass. So I'm gonna start doing some ship builds, some things like that. Starting to find outposts for you guys. So you that watch from the Starfield and all that, I got some things for y'all. You know, where to get like 8s and minimum 5. You know, where to find exactly the place to drop to get like at least 5 resources and stuff like that on the game in one section minimum. And I'm gonna try to not do like the same material. I'm gonna try to find one that has 5 different ones, 5 different ones, you know, 5 different ones. Just kind of do it like that, so you guys can have, you know, the best bang for your buck on that game too. So that's all I got for y'all today. Good chat. Hope y'all are safe, blessed, had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. In 2024, we're going to start this one off good. So I will catch y'all later.